Hi again, everyone. Thought I'd show a couple of tools I used. To make the rounded edge, you use a form tool. This is a 16th inch rounded edge ground into a great big tool bit, but I just wanted to show that I use that on the lathe to cut these rounded edges on these things. You know, they're chucked in the lathe, and I use a 5C chuck, collet chuck. Since the shoulder portion here is 1/4 of an inch in diameter, it's easy to put after you part it off, after you've drilled and reamed out the section that's going to receive the pipe. Then I use the parting tool, cut it off, flip it around, and then just use the lathe form tool there to put the rounded edge on. I always like to try different styles. These are easy to make. I've made 2 more tonight just since I posted the last video, and this is the original one. I made this, the rounded section is about 125 thousandths of an inch long. This one is a little bit less, more like 60 thousandths. That was called for in the original plans, and I went ahead and made this one 100 thousandths just to see how the fit is. I would say, and again, it all I'm sure has to do with how deep you make the hole in the fitting, but for me, the way I make them, having 100 or a little bit more, 100 thousandths of an inch for the rounded portion here seems to work out very well. You can tell when you test fit them, so that this portion is what I'm talking about here from the shoulder on. You can tell when you test fit them whether when you snug it up, the nut to the fitting here, whether it snugs up and makes a nice tight fit or not. The short one did not, so that's why I made one a little bit longer, and it's great. So these are the longer ones are the ones I'll probably use. Another thing that occurred to me after I started test fitting them on the pipe, you can see how difficult that last one is to take off of the pipe. I actually reamed this out with a 1/1000 oversized reamer to give me a little bit of extra room. So it's still pretty snug, and I've sanded the copper pipe down here, which is definitely a best practice for when you go to silver solder. There we go. So it slips on and off pretty easily. As everybody will tell you, when you're silver soldering, you want a little space there because the flux has to draw the solder in. So I think reaming these with a 1/1000 oversize ream would be a recommended best practice. So I think we're good to go there. The next set will be making fittings for the angle globe valve here, and as I discussed, it'll be identical on this side and a 1/16 inch pipe on that side. So anyway, I'll draw one of those up and start messing around with some different fittings, and when I've got a good solution I will post that up. Thanks for watching, everybody.